So tonight I'm going to go ahead and make some basic salsa. All right. I grew up in Southern California. A lot of exposure to, of course, what you'd call real Mexican food. I remember when I lived in Minnesota, people asked me if Taco Bell was real Mexican food. I'm like, no. So, got my ingredients laid out here. We got a Corona beer. All right, we're keeping it legit. We got 2 Chihuahuas.
There's one. Hello. Oh, there she is.
We got a couple of Chihuahuas, so sit back, crack a beer. We're going to go and make some salsa for you tonight. Personally, I've been making it over 20 years. I love salsa like this. It's the best stuff. So, all right, get to it. Real basic ingredients for this. You know, salsa is not brain surgery, of course. Let's go ahead and go across the scope. Of course, we're in Illinois, so it is a little harder to come across some of the peppers that I would have rather had. We've got, you know, you want probably half a dozen. These are poblano peppers. They didn't have serranos. Okay, we're running a little short. Of course, quarantine, what are you going to do? Get you 5-6 tomatillos. Okay, some green onion, a couple of bushels of cilantro. Rack you up some Roma tomatoes here. If you want to use regular tomatoes, beefsteaks, whatever, you know, have at it. Romas, the, you know, consistency of them, stuff like that, whatever. Of course, you get them at Walmart. They're like having little baseballs, but we'll deal with it, right? It's going to have that. You're going to need 1 can of tomato sauce, some garlic, a blender, right? Your cutting board and your standard Psycho knife. I use this for cooking. I also use it in the shower when I want to, right? So, right, with that, and of course you want to have a bevy of chips. You know, these are about the best chips we can find in Illinois. There are good chips if you want to make your own chips too. You can fry your own with corn tortillas, of course. I'm not doing that tonight. I'm going to keep it basic. All right, so you got a cutting board, a blender, the tomatillos and peppers, and if you have garlic cloves, you're going to bring those to a simmer in a pan, let them get soft. You want to boil them down, you know what I mean? You get those all soft, so later on we can add them in and make the sauce for the salsa. So let's get to work. First, we're going to do a little prep. First, I'm going to cut the stems off the peppers. They're poblanos. Like I said, I would have rather had serranos. They're hotter. We're going to make a little bit more mild. I know you don't get off on the spicy stuff as much. So the tomatillos, they got some spice to them also. We're going to prep those, cut the stems off the peppers, get those in the hot water so they can start softening up. Then we've got basic minced garlic already. If you use garlic cloves, you want to boil those also with the tomatillos and peppers. So we'll get to that. All right, so first things first, we're going to go ahead and start on some tomatoes. All right, dice them up, chop them up.
Don't you need to get the peppers and the tomatillos going?
All right, so first things first, let's get the peppers going. Now if you want to pull the stems off, whatever, people got their own way. Like I said, these are a more mild pepper. We're going to go ahead and keep it easy tonight. Got a good smell to them though. So. So just, those are garbage, but so these, chuck them on in the hot water over here. Tomatillos, just got to peel the skin off them, wrapper. All right. Now these will have a little bit of a butt in them. You want to take them, get that twisted off. You can see it's very little. Boom. So you're going to let these just simmer for a while though. They're going to get good and soft. Kind of break down a little bit. And as soon as these are done, you can just set them off to the side. It doesn't matter.
And how long are you going to let those simmer for?
Until you can see that these are all, the tomatillos are all like cooked on the outside. Like you can see right now they got a rich green to them. They'll get like light green or gray, you know, when they're real soft. And the peppers too, they'll get kind of the same way. You don't need to peel the peppers or anything like that. You know, you just because we're gonna blend them and just chop them all up anyways, and whip them up, puree them basically. It's kind of, tomatillos are a little sticky, and I'd say when you peel tomatillos, don't get the oils on your fingers and touch your eyes and stuff like that. So there goes that one. Boom. Like I said, you want 5 or 6 tomatillos. They vary in size, so you get some plump ones, 4 or 5. If you get a couple small ones, little nugget ones like this, maybe 6. All right, so I got the peppers and the tomatillos going. I'll turn that down a little bit just so they just sit there and simmer. All right. You take all the stems and the peels. Boom, gone. All right. Next thing, we'll go ahead and get these tomatoes going. I already rinsed everything. You know, rinse off your veggies. You want to get the cores out of them, of course. So if you got one of those little tomato scoopers, you can use that as well, or just do a little cut around, you know, and get these all out. Boom. Been a long time since my little chef days, so.
Looks like a little paring knife would be good for that.
Yeah, you can use a paring knife, even a little steak knife or something if, you know, that's what you want to do. I'm used to using a knife like this from culinary school and all my years working in restaurants. This is always a preferred knife for me to pretty much do anything. So, it's just me.
Those peppers smell spicy.
No, they're actually pretty mild. Poblanos are comparable to heat factor, you could say, like a Anaheim chili. You know, not much. If you want to move up to, typically I would use serranos. They got a good flavor to them. The heat is a lot more in serranos. Same thing with jalapenos. Jalapenos and serranos are comparable, and then you start moving up to habaneros and stuff like that are even hotter. But depending on the level of heat you want in your salsa, you know, like we're going kind of mild tonight. I know you guys don't handle the heat very well, so like I would actually use serranos, and I would put way too many of them in there because I like it hot.
I like to taste my salsa. No, what's the difference of putting these green onions instead of just like white onion like you would typically see in salsa?
The color is nice, and the flavor of these, if you get into the stalks of the onions typically and stuff, they maintain a flavor. I mean, just use, if you want to use red onion, white onion, you can if that's what you prefer. This time we're using green, you know, so just go ahead and I just start. It's a basic kind of heavy dice to all these. Yes, I know people are going to critique my knife cutting skills. This knife's a little bit dull, but I don't have a stone or a sharpener, so like you're supposed to keep your fingers tucked. I know. When you go to culinary school, it's just like truck driving or learn how to drive a stick. Do you float your gears?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And plus, too, the handling, how I hold a knife. Done this forever. Typically, it's supposed to be hands-on, right?
I am singing at the party. I am singing, it's my turn to sing at the party. Everyone is dancing, happy party. But Ramses is not dancing, he does not dance at the party.
Tomatoes are cut up. Amazingly enough, we don't have a big mixing bowl to put this in, so I'm using a pot. So we just, I know, we're totally low budge, but just take them and...
We have a mixing bowl, just not one that quite that big.
Yeah, we're making a lot of salsa tonight, so we'll go ahead and do it like this. So of course there's a lot of juicy juice.
On these
Yeah, you can see how they're turning color though. No harm in just letting them go there. They're just going to go to mush.
You gotta flip them or spin them or
No,
stir them or
no,
nothing?
just let them cook. They're fine just like they are. You can take cilantro though, actually bunch it up, make it kind of tight. And just start chopping into it. You want to get your cilantro pretty finely chopped. So I'm going to scoot that off. Again, just make a little bundle out of it. Kind of helps out sometimes to get all tight. That way you're kind of tripling your chop effectiveness, you know. You bunch it all up. They actually do, these Mexican chicks that I worked with in restaurants and stuff, they'd actually take 3 knives, put all the handles together, and tape them. So they had a triple chopper.
Oh,
and
wow.
they sit there just banging the cutting boards for all the parsley, cilantro, all that kind of stuff we would use. Of course, you only got 1 knife, so but they'd just be sitting there banging it. I'm not going to bang this one because I don't want to dull it that quick. You know, you can see you can make pretty good work of it pretty quick. And yeah, it'll be pretty good. So, boom, cilantro. And get it all off. Now, since not a bunch of juice or anything, I'm not going to worry too much about doing the onions. Just try and do some of that. Get your little stickers off. Now typically a lot of times these are more dried out and stuff on the ends. These are where the juicier part of the onion is. So yeah, you can take a couple at a time if you want. Cut the butts off. And so drag your pot over. Boom. Get your green little bits and scoop them all up. All right. So that's your basic get together of your tomatoes, onions, and cilantro. Basic. Next ingredients are going to go into it. You can see how the peppers and the tomatillos have come along. Now they're like that green gray. You know, these are going to go in the blender. Peppers, tomatillos, some garlic, and tomato sauce will go in here. We'll whip it up, pour it into that, stir it around, salt to flavor. Basic. Just go and turn the heat off. Set them to the side. They're just going to sit there. You know, they're all soft and everything. You can see one of them. It's even kind of breaking apart and everything, so they're done. They'll be aight. So, you got a food processor, NutriBullet, whatever.
Whatever that blends.
Whatever blends, that's what you want. So, just take these, just drain it. Of course, don't dump all your peppers out and everything. If there's a little bit of water left in the pot, that's all right. Not a big deal. You can still, it's okay to have a little water in it. The thing that happens with these peppers being so hot, when you dump the mixture into the salsa, it makes the salsa hot for a while. So if you're eating it, it's going to be warm, you know, but it's not a big deal. dump all those in there. I would say, call it a tablespoon, maybe 2 tablespoons of garlic. Can you really ever have too much garlic?
No, I don't think so. Too much salt? Yeah. Garlic? No.
Boom. Go ahead and live on the edge a little bit tonight. Boom. Yeah, a little bit more in it. Boom. Yeah, depending on your own preference, though. Couple tablespoons of garlic. And a can. Didn't grab that one, right? There it is. A can of tomato sauce. Think you're going hinky on me, man.
It's a nice new opener. It's all stiff.
The can's bent.
Oh.
There it goes. So, real basic though, can of tomato sauce. Let's go ahead and put that right on in with it. You can see, plenty of liquid. And then it just takes a simple mix up, you know what I mean? Not too much, doesn't have to be all super frappe, just you can still see there's steam coming off of it. You know, it's hot. But, so you take your tomatoes, onions, and cilantro. You mix the tomatillos, peppers, tomato sauce, and garlic. Alright. Grab a simple spatula, spoon, whatever you want to do. Wood works good because it's stiff, so you can get in there and really work it. Just start stirring it up. Now at this point, salt to flavor. I'd probably say you're going to go a tablespoon of salt, maybe 2.
Max.
Because as you know, salt can make or break anything. So you put too much, you kill it. So I would say salt to flavor. I'd start off, do the old school trick here. Tablespoon, boom. And let's go ahead with 2, boom. Just stir that up. Like I said, just salt to flavor, that's it. Now this salsa will taste good right now, but if you package it up, put it in the fridge overnight, all of the juices and the spices and the salt break down overnight with all the acid of the tomatoes and everything, that you actually have the salsa the next day and it's got its full flavor to it. It's really fresh right now, but tomorrow will be full flavor. So right there is your good, basic, chunky salsa. Right now, what we're going to do, because we prefer to have salsa that's more thinned out. This is pico de gallo, say. Chunky pico de gallo. We prefer
Fresca.
a fresca salsa. It's more finely minced down and stuff like that, more liquefied. So what we're going to do, I'm going to do a little double here. I'm going to leave some pico so we can see the difference.
Certain
Probably use a spoon. We're going to go back to the blender. Pardon my mess. Just put some back in the blender. You see there's a lot of big chunks of tomatoes in there and stuff. And it's really all to your preference. You know, we prefer to have a little bit thinner, so that's what we're going to do with it.
Don't forget to put your lid back on.
jammed up on you. That's it. Oh.
You want a big mixing bowl?
Boom. Stick with me, it's alright. You see now, it's liquefied, but still kind of chunky. So like I said, salt to flavor. You can see the difference. Chunky salsa,
Smooth salsa.
smooth salsa. So that's pretty much it. That's a real basic way to make salsa. Very flavorful. In fact, no better time than the present. Huh?
Hmm?
It's damn good. The cilantro, the onion, it's actually got a bite to it. Those poblano chilies, the tomatillos too, may have actually had a bite.
What are you gonna do?
What are you gonna do? It's gonna make my nose run already.
It's good
Actually,
salsa.
it's really good salsa. So, basic trick for good homemade salsa, go get you, what I have, eight Roma tomatoes, a couple things of green onions, a couple bushels of cilantro, 5 or 6 tomatillos, depending on how much heat you want, poblano chilies, serrano chilies, jalapenos, habaneros. Go get you a handful of those. Salt prep. Throw it all together. Here you go. Right?
Right.
You're looking forward to having some?
Oh yeah.
Get some decent chips, some salsa, have a beer, get a couple of chihuahuas.
And stay tuned on the next episode. We're gonna make shredded chicken tacos from scratch.
Yeah, might still have some of this salsa left over too.
Oh yeah, we will.
All right, so that's about it.
Yep.
We'll check out.
Yep.
Out.
Out.
With turquoise and real diamonds. Fuck!